Hey everyone, it's Elite Fitness with Steve, and I think it's past midnight. I wanted to do a video for you guys today. Great day for me today. First video just reached 300 views. Very thankful. So thank you for those who have viewed and hit the like button and subscribed. I appreciate it a lot. Today's video is common mistakes that most new lifters make. And I have the mistakes and the fixes here. I'm all high tech here with this dry erase board. Before I start this video, I want to do a shout out to John from Australia. Mad Apples sent me a snap. He's just starting to work out. So John, this one is for you. Alright, so let's talk about these. I wrote down 8 common mistakes and then the fixes. And I truly believe that people who, some people have been working out for a while can learn something from this video also. Alright, let's go in the first one. Ego lifting. You're all excited, you got your gym membership, and maybe a friend decides to join the gym, and I think that's great if you can find somebody in the gym that you become friends with. I think healthy competition, pushing each other is great, but trust me, there's a lot of BS that goes on in the gym. Don't get involved in the ego lifting. Know your limitations. So essentially, if you see somebody and they're lifting a lot, or they're looking at you, or they're trying to outlift you, or if you're by yourself and they have a full stack and you try to lift it and your ego gets involved and you can't do it, you're going to tear something, or you're going to pull something, and then you're going to be set back. So save yourself the aggravation. Don't ego lift. Next is unrealistic goals. The reason why most people who get a gym membership who quit after a year, or actually not after a year, let me say, who quit before the year, have unrealistic goals. Listen, you see these people in these magazines or social media who are absolutely huge. Whether these people that you want to become like, or you want to go to the gym and you want to become massive, you have to understand that it takes time. And I'm going to save you the gym membership fee right now. If you think you're going to be huge in a couple of months, or be, those sizes of those people that you see, on those magazines, they're working out 7 days a week. They've been working out for years. They live, they breathe, they shit the gym. Okay? So, small steps is what you need to do. Small steps, celebrate small goals that you have achieved, but give yourself a break and don't be unrealistic. You're not going to be that big in a couple of months. I don't care what you're taking. Now, if you pump yourself up with that, it's synthol that people take, so they blow up like balloons, maybe. That's unhealthy. Set yourself up for success. Small steps. Next, size only. And I think this whole term, size only, people get just infatuated with becoming huge. There's nothing wrong with hypertrophy training. You're trying to build skeletal muscle, but let me put this in perspective, especially if someone's just hypertrophy training and they can't get over their 1 rep max. You have to understand, if you're the house and you have a foundation and you just keep on building up this house and you keep the same foundation, the house is going to eventually collapse. It's the same thing with the body and the muscles. You need to build tendon strength. Tendon strength is crucial for you to get to that next level in your hypertrophy training. So cycle out of hypertrophy training, skeletal muscle size, and jump into more of a strength endurance scenario for a month's time. It takes the body around a month to adapt to what you're doing. So normally when you're doing strength endurance, obviously you guys have heard this, you're going to do a higher rep count and less sets, and that's correct. I like doing, when I'm training people, it's around 8 to 12 8 to 12 reps, 2 to 4 sets, and they do between, you can do like 70%, even up to 80% of your 1 rep max. Now, what's important is that when you're training for strength endurance, building up that tendon strength, you have to realize that you need to change your tempo in your lifting, and on that eccentric motion you need to slow it down, and you'll see the benefits you have when you go a real slow eccentric motion. It'll change the whole routine. So, tendon strength. Next, be hydrated. This is, I'll laugh when I have a client and I'll ask them, what have you drank all day? And they'll tell me, well, I had orange juice or I've had an iced coffee. Seriously? I want you to get into the habit of that gallon jug of water. You want to kill this gallon jug of water every day. Now, what can help people who've been lifting for a while is start hydrating 2 hours before you actually work out. Anywhere between 14, 22 ounces of water. And don't be that person that goes to the gym and then you start drinking for the day. You don't want to do that. The body is an amazing machine, but the body cannot adapt to dehydration. If you could be doing all these things correctly, and it's only a matter of you hydrating yourself enough, try, like I said, start drinking your water 2 hours before you actually do your routine and see the benefits. And drink that gallon of jug. People who don't even work out, males, it's like 13 cups of water. Females, it's like 9 cups of water is that it's needed for the body to be hydrated. And if you're somebody who's working out or an athlete, you need to see extremely hydrated. Next is lack of sleep. You want to get like 8 hours of sleep. The best sleep is before 12. I'm not saying go to bed at 6, but you want to get some sleep before that midnight time. And I'm sorry if you're playing Call of Duty or you want to drop Moabs or DNA bombs. And if you're an athlete, you're a hockey player or whatever you're doing for a sport, you got to give yourself that sleep. And I'm telling you, for myself, if you have like a playoff game or something before, and you're just thinking about the game, or you can't sleep because you're excited, that's fine. But that's going to catch up to you if you're doing multiple games in the week and you just can't perform and focus. So you need to get that sleep. And guess what happens? If you get that proper sleep and get into that deep, deep REM sleep, your body, here you go, naturally produces growth hormone. You don't have to buy it and inject it. Wow! Your body will make it on its own. So if you're doing everything right, you're not getting a proper sleep, you're not giving yourself the growth hormone that it needs to get to that next level. And maybe that's why you're not getting past your 1 rep max. Next one is don't stretch. Here's another thing where people will come from work and they'll go right into working out and they don't stretch. The fix of that is reciprocal inhibition. So you're like, Steve, what are you talking about? What is reciprocal inhibition? So essentially, reciprocal inhibition is the simultaneous contraction of a muscle. So say you're doing your bicep, and then it's the relaxation of the antagonist for movement. And you're like, well, who cares, Steve? Well, let me explain this to you. You're someone who works out in the gym. You're going to work out. You're going to do squats, most likely, because you don't want to be that person, big upper body and no lower body strength. So think about this. If you're a student or if you're someone who works, you're sitting down all day, guess what? You are in hip flexion. You're sitting down, you're in hip flexion. So your hip complex, your muscles like your psoas, is going to be tight. So what's the difference? What is the opposite of reciprocal inhibition? Is altered reciprocal inhibition. It means that the agonist is tight and doesn't allow the antagonist to do what it has to do. The relationship between the two muscles are off. So unfortunately, if you're doing squats and you have tight hip flex complex, then the glutes are the antagonist to that muscle. So you're saying, well, Steve, who cares? Well, I'm going to tell you why it's a big problem. It's because the body always wants to choose the path of least resistance. It doesn't care what your goals are. It just wants to get it done. So when you're doing a squat, guess what's helping out the quads and the glutes is the hamstring. That's a synergistic muscle in that movement. And what happens is, if the psoas, the hip complex, is too tight, you're sitting down all day, it's not going to allow the glutes to do its job, and then so the hamstring is going to get involved as a synergistic muscle. You're going to get synergistic dominance, and then you're going to get altered pulling on the joint, and then you're going to either A, get injured, or B, you're not going to give yourself that full chance of proper development. So you need to stretch. Okay? Next is no warm-up. So people will go to the gym, especially newbies, and they'll just start lifting. There's no stretching involved. Okay, that's not good. And then there's no warm-up. So the reason why you want to warm up, so say you stretch, and you see some people doing this, well, you can do an specific stretching, or just a general stretching, general warm-up, is I like doing the bike. You can do the bike for 5-10 minutes, and that's just the general warm-up. You'll see some people in gyms, so say if they're working their arms, they'll actually do the movement with either very light weight or no weight, or if you're just doing a body squat. And what that does is that gets you mentally, physically prepared for the routine. You want to warm up because you want to get your heart rate going. You want to get your body to a warmed up temperature. You're breathing, and you want to be mentally ready to exercise. So you need to warm up. Last one in this list is most people do not do a cool down. Has anybody heard of this? Well, you got to do it. So essentially, you have so say you do all this great stuff and you don't cool down. So basically, the reason why you want to cool down, you want to get back to neutral. And in the cool down process is you just go right back to the bike, 5 minutes at low impact, get your breathing back to normal, your body back to normal, and then you stretch at the very end to get the length relationships of the muscles back to neutral. So, I hope this list helped you. I hope the video wasn't too long. And any questions, please leave a comment and tell me if any of these things work for you. I know people who I work out with do these things, and they are excelling. So, this is Elite Fitness with Steve. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, and I will see you real soon. Peace.